if you say so. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone for being here today, and a huge thank you to the organising team that put the whole event together, because the service in the church was absolutely beautiful, the music was incredible, and the memory of Shireen was wonderful and very real to our lives. She gave her life because she was a dedicated journalist, because she was dedicated to ensuring the voice of Palestinian people could be heard. And the numbers of things I've seen on social media of Palestinians saying they would wake up in the morning, tune into Al Jazeera to see what Shireen was reporting and saying, because they trusted her to make sure their voice was out in the wider world. It's a terrible loss that Shireen has died. And in the programme for our service today, we also had the names of 45 other Palestinian journalists who've been killed reporting on the occupation, reporting on the settlements, reporting on the siege of Gaza, and reporting on the ill treatment of Palestinian people. They died again because they were reporting the truth of what is going on. And so, for goodness sake, in her memory and the memory of all those other journalists that have died, just try and think what it is like to live under occupation. And when I'm arguing with people about Palestine and the whole issue surrounding the Middle East, I say, just think what it is like to grow up knowing that on your way to school, your way to college, your way to work, if you're able to work, you're probably going to go through a checkpoint. You're probably going to be abused at that checkpoint. And that is your daily life, and it has gone on and on. And so when Amnesty International, when Human Rights Watch, when Archbishop Desmond Tutu calls it for what it is, the occupation of the West Bank has created an apartheid state and system there, with settler-only roads leading from one settlement to another, as the best land and the best water is taken from the Palestinian people. This is no way to live. It is no way for the future. The world has got to stand up and say it very, very clearly. The occupation must end. The siege of Gaza must end. The refugees in camps, and there are hundreds of thousands of them all over the Middle East, must be allowed their life and their freedom. And we should also just remember the solidarity around the world with the Palestinian people is enormous. And one thing that came to me during the lockdown period of COVID was the number of Zoom meetings and calls we did. And I had some very interesting Zoom calls and discussions with very brave human rights activists in Israel who think exactly the same, that the security and peace of the whole region depends on the end of the occupation and the right of people to be able to live securely and in peace. And that is all that the Palestinian people demand. The wonderful culture of Palestine, the wonderful history of Palestine is something the world must know about. And I've just been given a book just now, Making Palestine's History, Women's Testimonies. And I think it was interesting that at the service this morning, as I counted it, seemed there were a majority of women present in memory of a wonderful woman journalist. And it's the women of Palestine that have done so much to maintain that sense of Palestinian identity and unity, and to bring up a new generation of young Palestinians that want their life, that want their music, that want their art, and want their sport. It's up to us to make sure we're able to give them that life in Shireen's memory. Thank you very much.